Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Got to stay inside to do the video again today because it's really windy out, like 40, 50 mile an hour gust winds. Way too windy to be doing a video because you wouldn't hear anything I say because of the wind noise. Europe is getting kind of nervous right now. Eastern Europe, mostly Ukraine, but I think Sweden and Finland and a few other countries are getting a little nervous of what's going on because things seem to be escalating very rapidly with the deal between Ukraine and Russia. And I think most of you kind of know what's going on. Ukraine's been striking Russia multiple times now with United States, U.S. missile systems, long-range missile systems, and also Storm Shadow missile systems, which are from the United Kingdom. And Russia is making major threats of potentially using nuclear weapons against Ukraine. Now, I'm not saying necessarily that's going to happen, but they're definitely doing some serious saber rattling, and a lot of people are nervous that they have been setting up some of their intercontinental ballistic missiles, moving them into place to potentially use one of those. Some of their heavy bombers have been flying in the air, and so there's a lot of just trepidation going on. And rumors have it that it's expected to just escalate even further in the next 24 to 48 hours. A lot of reports coming out of Ukraine or in that area that they're expecting the next few hours to be pretty unstable there. And so I'm not saying that I think for certain that we're going to see a nuclear weapon used. I'm saying that the possibility is increased. But certainly the possibility of just the war itself increasing, more heavy bombing in Kyiv, the capital city, could certainly happen. An attempt to take out Zelensky could happen. Just in the last day or so, Russia released some drone footage of them flying a drone over where he was at, showing his motorcade and everything. So kind of showing and telling the world that, you know, if we wanted to, we could take you out. Also, possibility of hitting NATO targets, especially United States and British targets, because of their weapons being used against Russia. Joe Biden has also authorized the use of anti-personnel mines against Russians, which has been something he said he would never do, but now we are. Now, I want to mention something that this is absolutely unconfirmed. It's just simply a rumor, and probably the odds are it's not true, but it's something to kind of tuck away in the back of your mind, you know, put up on the shelf, because there may be a few days away before it's proven true or false. There's a reporter online stating that he has a source inside the White House that says when Donald Trump went to the White House to meet with Joe Biden last week, that they discussed this plan of authorizing long-range missiles to be used against Russia, and Trump approved of it. He agreed with it and said that that would be part of his peace through strength plan. Now, that's a really big gamble, and not at all what we were promised before he was elected. In fact, he had promised that within 24 hours of him being elected, not sworn in, but elected, that he'd be making phone calls to Putin and to Zelensky, and he would stop the war. Remember that? He said that many times in 24 hours. And if this is in fact true, that he okayed or agreed with escalating the war in this way, that's definitely not what was told to everybody. Now, of course, like I said, that may not be true that he said this, and we'll have to wait and find out and see if that's true. But definitely things have changed in just the last few days, and the whole situation has become quite tense. There's reports online and social media, especially social media that's used over there, you know, sites like Telegram and stuff, that are saying that the people in Ukraine are starting to panic. That there's a lot of talk online over there that people need to start evacuating. Now, the Ukrainian government has stated that there's no need to panic, that they believe that this is just psychological warfare that Russia is doing, that they're not actually going to do anything. It's possible that that's true, but that's a really big gamble to make. And there's also, I think, a very strong possibility of Ukraine doing something and making it look like it was Russia. I mean, we have to remember that even the German government now is admitting that Ukraine definitely did blow up the Nord Stream pipeline. And I don't believe they did it all on their own by any means, but they're the ones that's bearing the brunt of the blame. And I think it's very possible that we could see some type of attack that they blame on Russia, maybe like an attack on a U.S. embassy in Kiev, or something like that. So things right now are really unstable, and I think we should all be paying fairly close attention to things. I don't think that we here in the United States have any immediate threat to us, meaning that Russia would strike, United States homeland. It's possible that they could strike U.S. bases that are over in that area, but I highly doubt that they're ready to escalate to that point. It doesn't hurt, though, to make sure that everything's ready. You should probably still be ready based on what you were doing for the election. And if you didn't do what you should be doing for the election, you should probably go out and do that. I've already had a couple of people ask me today where they can get some potassium iodide tablets. I'll leave a link in the description below or something if you're interested, but you can get them, okay? You should probably already have that kind of stuff on hand. I mean, that's kind of a prepper basic, is to have some of those. But the reality is I think the worst thing that we will feel immediately here, if things do escalate, whether it's conventional or nuclear, is just the possibility of people starting to panic here. People could go out and buy things. People could start to protest in the streets. The pro-Ukrainian lobby. They could kind of get fired back up. All the pro-Palestinian people may shift once again and go back to their yellow and blue flags. We don't know what's going to happen. It's about 60 days away from when Trump takes office. And at this point, it's become a little difficult to figure out exactly what kind of game is going on. Did Trump approve of this to make Biden look bad and to set him up for a potential better situation to make it look like he's really saving things? Or is it just a gamble on his part? Or was he not even involved in all of this? And it truly is just Biden and the left that's trying to create big World War III before Donald Trump takes office. I don't know. But things are getting serious. And like I said, over the next, I would say 2 to 4 days, we'll probably get a good idea of what may be going on, simply because everything that's coming out right now indicates that retaliatory strikes and escalations of this will happen quite soon, that it's just going to continue to escalate. Now, there's always the possibility that Donald Trump could step in and try to de-escalate things and create some kind of ceasefire agreement. But as of right now, I'm not seeing anything coming out of the Trump camp that indicates that they're saying anything that's going on. I don't know. And if it actually came out to be true that Trump authorized this, or that Trump agreed with this increase in escalation, then that could also change Russia and Putin's position on whether or not they would trust Trump. Who knows? In the end, it's probably all just a big old psyop against us, played on us by the big globalists and the deep state and the people that try to rule us. And yeah, I think it's both sides trying to do this, not just the left, it's also the right. And you all know that, and you all know that I think that. That's why I don't trust politicians and I don't trust government. They don't have really any good track record whatsoever, regardless of what party they are, what name they go by. You and I need to get prepared for this, just like we always do, just like you've been. Most of you probably already are. But things could escalate. There's also a few other little smaller factors that are important. North Korea says that Ukraine has been targeting their officers that are now fighting alongside with Russia. Now, I mean, in matters of war, if they do that, that isn't that fair game in war? But North Korea is kind of taking it as a direct attack against them, and who knows how they will be getting more involved or escalate things in their own way, because the little man with the, little man complex over there in North Korea, I think he's just wanting to get involved in some kind of a war. And so who knows what will happen there. We need to be getting ready, folks, but the main thing is getting ready in here, because I think that as these things do escalate, especially if we see a nuclear weapon used, I think it just indicates how much closer we are getting to the end times, and how much more we need to be focused on our own soul and our own salvation and our own closeness with the Father, because it just means that things are just going to get worse. So keep doing that. Circle the wagons, bring your family in closer to you, bond closer, get better, because it's not just about World War III or nuclear war. It's about the world is just becoming a quite evil place. And as these wars happen, they're just symptoms of a bigger problem. And that's why we need to be getting our houses in order. Not just by the cans of food and the buckets of beans that we store up, but really our homes. Get them ready for the trials and the tribulations that we will continue to face. It's time to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.